joins us. I am a coordinator senior who oversees or manages the graduate recruitment for Fulton Schools of Engineering, and I'm going to allow Lynn to introduce herself.
I'm Lynn Pratt. I oversee graduate advising for the School of Electrical, Computer, and Energy Engineering, but I assist with the shared programs within Fulton. So I've got knowledge on all of the programs and all of the concentrations.
Perfect. So next slide, please. Okay. So overall, Arizona/Greater Phoenix is a really great location to come for your graduate studies, because while the program and the university program you selected is very important, also the location of the university, because when you are here for the 2 years of your life, first of all, you want to be at a place that's safe, that is easy to live, somehow affordable, as well as offers good prospects for internships and jobs, which, Greater Phoenix area provides all these. We can go to the next slide. This is our charter. Our charter is very, very dear to my heart, and many of the people who work at ASU feels that way, because we are a comprehensive research university, but we measure our success with, rather than whom we exclude, instead of that, we measure it by who we include and how they succeed in our programs, as well as advancing research and discovery of public value and assuming fundamental responsibility for the well-being, economic, social, cultural, and overall health of our communities that we serve. Let me go to the next slide, please. So, well, we are located in the southwestern portion of the United States. Now, Phoenix is in a unique situation because, Arizona State, because everywhere you go in the United States, right, even a city half our size will have multiple major research institutions in that city. In Phoenix, which is the 5th largest metropolitan area in the United States, Arizona State University is it. We are the only higher institution in the Phoenix area that does research. So that gives us this unique responsibility where we are responsible for providing the technical talent that the Greater Valley, Arizona, Phoenix needs. In the Greater Phoenix area, we have ASU has 4 campuses and online presence. Now, ASU currently has 2 presence in 2 of our campuses, Phoenix in Tempe and in Polytechnic. Soon, we're going to have presence in the West Valley campus. Now, these campuses are about 40 to 45-minute shuttle drive between them, and then we have shuttles that go between the campuses every 15 minutes. If we can go to the next slide. So under the Fulton Schools of Engineering umbrella, with the leadership of our dean, Dr. Kyle Squires, who is a professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering, we have 8 schools, right? Now, data science, which Lynn is going to go into detail later, is very unique because it has like portions of data science, different concentrations are in different schools of this structure. Next slide, please. So very quickly about our numbers, we have $135 million in research expenditures. Why is this important? It comes back to our students as services as well as research opportunities for graduate students. We are the largest and most comprehensive engineering school in the nation. About 25% of our students are females. About 24% comes from underrepresented populations, and about 30% of our students are international. So we are a very diverse school. Next slide, please. So what is it that we offer? We like something called, we like to call this the Fulton difference, because we know you have multiple options when it comes to having your graduate, where do you want to do your graduate degree, right? We are fully aware that ASU and Fulton is not the only university in the United States. However, we do differentiate ourselves from other universities with the services we provide you. Now, ASU is a large public university, and ASU has a lot of services, cultural events, student organizations, career center, and all this. This is ASU wide. It's for every Arizona State University student. However, for our engineering students, we provide additional support and services. First of all, we have a dedicated career center. It's very important for our students to know that they can find a job once they're done with their degree, and they also have internship opportunities. Where this career services specifically dedicated to engineering students, they offer you webinars, they help you set up your resume, they help you with mock interviews, they put career fairs every semester in all our campuses, and every semester a virtual one. They also operate an app called Handshake, where you can upload your resume and the employers will put in their job opportunities, and that's like a matching service. We are very entrepreneurial in mindset. We have many competitions that you can take part in, and you can compete for seed money, for mentorship, even for space if you have an idea. We also offer a graduate level research experience. Even if you are a non-thesis master's student, you can still do research if you're interested in that. Next slide, please. So quickly about internship opportunities. I want to clarify this because there is a lot of confusion, especially among our international students, about internships and co-ops, and it just gets confused. First of all, we do offer co-ops, right? It's just not called a co-op. In our case, we call everything an internship, whether you do it during the summer or during regular semesters. Now, and if you're an international student, if you're in good academic standing, you are eligible to do an internship, also called a co-op, after completing one academic year. Now, academic year consists of a fall semester and a spring semester. So most of you will be starting the program in fall 24. You will be eligible to do an internship / co-op in summer of 24. During summer semester, you can do a full-time internship anywhere in the US. During regular semesters, you could either do it here in the greater Phoenix area, or you could do a remote internship, or in certain cases, they may allow you to do an on-site internship as well. It's all case by case during semesters. Now, if you would like to know more information about CPT, which is the Curricular Practical Training or Internship, or OPT, you can go to this our website called careerengineeringasu.edu/CPT-OPT, and you can get more information. Next slide, please. Quickly about the internship locations. This is for computing disciplines, but it fits you perfectly because data science is a computing discipline. You can see that in 2023, over the summer, this is the latest information we have. About 20% of our students did an internship during the summer in the Arizona. About 26% went to California. 12% went to the Green State, which is Seattle, which Amazon is located, and Microsoft as well. And then the remaining, you can see which states our students went to do internships. If we can go to the next slide. Quickly about, I found it in the US Bureau of Labor Statistics about data science specifically. And this is what I could find was only for bachelor's degree. Naturally, the master's degree is going to make more money. But in 2022, median salary was about $103,000. I only wish I made that money.
Right.
I know. Well, so what's important is to me is that the job outlook is 35% increase is what they're expecting. So there is definitely a demand for your major, your expertise, which is fantastic, right? That's the field that you want to be in. Next slide, please. I think this is maybe like my couple last slides. Quickly, this is about all our engineering graduate students. 105%, 5,000 is about the average base salary. The median is about 110,000. About 73% of our students are working at the time that they graduate, and 20% is still looking by the time they graduate. And the next slide, please. Quickly, I want to be very, very, very transparent about one thing. TARA positions, I know we're going to have a lot of questions about them. With 100% clarity, an overwhelming majority of these positions go to our PhD students. Now, I'm not saying a master's student will never get an RA or a TA. I'm not saying that. It does happen. But I don't want you to come here thinking that you will get an RA or a TA, because you're not. Most of our MS level students are self-funded. Now, having said that, there are many other opportunities for our students to supplement their educational costs, like fellowships, whether it is a university level scholarship or an engineering level fellowship. On-campus jobs. I love what Lynn says. ASU runs on student workers. That is so true. In my office alone, we have 8 student workers, 7 of them from India, graduate student workers. So they work about 20 hours a week in our offices, in our food service, in our parking, any office that you can imagine, we have student workers working. Next slide, please. This is the slide about the on-campus opportunities. You can work as graders, research aides, tutors, administrative services, food services, anything that you can think of. Now, you can work 20 hours a week during semesters, 40 hours a week during breaks and summer. Now, you can apply to these jobs even before arriving on campus. So if you were starting in the fall 24 semester, for example, I would start applying 2 to 3 weeks before to jobs. You may easily be interviewed through Zoom. That's what we do for most of our students. And most of the cases, you may have a job ready by the time you arrive on campus. I believe this would be my last slide before. I think Dr. Pan joined us. Dr. Pan, would you like to introduce yourself? We did not do that for you.
All right. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Pan. I'm the chair of the Data Science Master Program. So I'm going to talk. Can you go to the next slide?
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about this degree requirement and what you will be expecting from this degree if you choose to, take on our master degree program. Okay. This program has been quite a special program, even at ASU, because it is, I would say, over-disciplinary, program. Under the single umbrella, data science, analytics, and engineering, we have 8 concentrations, and those 8 concentrations scatter around multiple engineering schools, and also math and statistics, School of Math and Statistics. So you should apply for those concentrations because each concentration is managed by individual school, okay? And you find the concentration that best fit your education background. For example, if you have a mechanical engineering background, but you're interested in data analytics, modeling, you probably consider, the concentration in mechanical engineering. Or if you're a material science background, you probably will consider, the concentration in material science. Same to electrical engineering. And obviously, I know that most of the students here will choose the computing and the data decision analytics. Basically, that concentration is the concentration in the School of Computing and Augmented Intelligence. And this school has computer science and industrial engineering. So if you have computer science background or industrial engineering background, you probably want to, apply for this concentration. We'll talk a little bit more about those concentrations in later slides. Okay, so it's important that you refer to the handbook to look for the right concentration for you, because each concentration will have kind of different requirement for, for the courses that you need to take. There are some common core courses, no matter which concentration you choose, that you all need to take, but for the elective class and other requirements, for example, the capstone requirement, different concentration has different requirement. Okay. All right. So yeah. Okay. Here's the course curriculum structure. Okay. So the required core courses has 9 credits, which means 3 courses. Okay. And no matter which concentration you are going to take, and you all need to take this 9 credits required core. Okay. So this 9 credits distribute to basically 3 categories: statistics, probability, and database, and machine learning. Okay, so you can see that in each category, there's multiple courses, and you can choose any of them. Okay, so just one. Okay, so there are some courses taught at the math and statistics, like STP, STP 502, theory of statistics. And there's some courses taught here in engineering school, like this EE 554 and the DSE 501. Okay, and you just need to take one of them. All right, same for database and machine learning. All right, so there's multiple ones, so you should be able to find the course that you can enroll into. Okay, and based on your own schedule, and you can find the course, to fulfill this requirement. And after this required courses, and there's concentration courses, that depends on individual schools, individual concentrations requirement. And also electives, and electives is organized by theme, and there's data analysis, optimization, machine learning, and so on. Okay, one of the benefit of this program is we assemble a large number of courses that you can take. Okay, so there's a lot of flexibility. Depends on your goal of this study, your career plan, and you have a lot of choice to choose the course that best fit for you. And at the end, there's a culminating experience. It could be either a capstone or applied project or thesis. Okay, and again, different school have different requirement. Most of you probably take non-thesis option, so you will take either capstone or applied project. But a few of you probably want to do a thesis option, which means that you will work with a professor here and work on some research project and writing a thesis, which will be counting as a culminating experience. All right, next slide, please. Actually, can we go back?
Yeah.
Because I forgot to mention, what are the concentrations here? Okay, in the School of Math and Statistics, there's 2 concentration based in machine learning with BML, and computation method, CMD. Computation method,
modeling and data.
Modeling and data. Yeah, thank you.
Some of these acronyms, there's so many of them.
Yeah, so many acronyms. In those 2 concentration managed by the School of Math and Statistical Science. And in SKY, which is the School of Computing and Augmented Intelligence, the concentration is computing decision analytics. Okay, and ECEE, which is the Electrical Engineering School, the concentration is just electrical engineering, and SMTE, which is the Mechanical and Material Science. They have two concentration, one MAE, Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and MSE, Material Science Engineering. And SEBE, which is Civil Engineering, Civil and Environmental. So their concentration just CB. And TPS is the Poly School. They offer this HCA, means human-centered application, right? So next slide. So many concentrations. There could be a lot of confusion. Which one best fits to your background, or what do you want to do? What's your career path? What's your career plan? So most confusing one, probably this one, computing and decision analytics, CDA, and computational models and data. Okay, and one belong to the CDA, computing and decision analytics, belong to the SKY, which is engineering school, and CMD belong to the math and statistics school, which is not engineering school, but they are more math based. Okay, so if your undergrad is math major and you want to stick on math and statistics, and but guide to more data analytics path, then you probably want to consider the CMD. Okay, but if you have for example computer science or computer engineering undergrad degree, or industrial engineering undergrad degree, and you want to consider this CDA, okay, concentration.
And that's a very important distinction. A lot of students apply to CMD. Just because it has computational in the title does not mean it is a computer science based degree. Earlier in the slides, we had a line on there saying you might be admitted to a program that you didn't apply to. And that's because we take a look and see, well, who's applied to each of the concentrations. And if you apply to CMD and you do not have a high math background, like a math degree or extra math classes on top of what's normal for a computer science, computer engineering, and industrial engineering student, we will reconsider you to the concentration that we think is the most appropriate for you based on your background. And that's important because while these degrees are related, they're all different. You're going to have to take classes and you have to do well in them. So we want you to take classes that are going to be, the next step from your bachelor's degree that you're going to do well in and you have the prerequisite knowledge in.
Yep. Based in machine learning, compared to electrical engineering, based in machine learning is again concentration in the School of Math and Statistical Science. So high math required, okay? And electrical engineering is engineering background. And if you have electrical engineering background, and you should consider this EE, okay? And next one. Material science and mechanical aerospace. Okay, both of them belong to the school we call SMT, and MSE is good option for students have bachelor degree. Although it's called material science, but it's good for almost all engineering field. Okay, so they basically welcome, you know, as long as you have an engineering background. Okay, and MAE is good for mechanical and aerospace degree. All right. Yep. And CB, SEBE is a good fit for engineer in construction, civil engineering. I would say also in not industrial engineering, in environmental engineering.
Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake there.
So, but system engineering, industrial engineering, system engineering, I think it depends on, you know, what kind of system really. But industrial engineering, really you should consider the CDA, okay, not the CB, okay. And human-centered application, HCA, is good for user experience system engineering here. And industrial engineering, you can also consider this one, especially if your interest is in human centered, you know, user experience, human-centered application, human systems, or human factors, ergonomics, you know, those type of things that you can consider this HCA.
Before we wrap up and answer your guys' questions, we've got a couple of questions for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and launch this poll here. So the first question, which concentration are you most interested in? Now that we've gone through all the concentrations, describe the differences. I want to hear from you guys to see, what are you interested in? What are you? Awesome, so we're getting some responses. A lot of CDA, very good. A lot of computer science background students. Makes sense, Bayesian machine learning, couple of electrical, materials. Awesome. So that's our first question for you. And I know some students are still answering. Our second question is, how likely are you to attend ASU? And that's an important question for us because this is one of our newer graduate programs, but it's one of our fastest growing graduate programs. And as you saw in our earlier slides, ASU is #1 in innovation. And how we measure that is through some of our very interesting and interdisciplinary graduate programs. We want to create programs for you based off of your interest and to meet the industrial needs. And as Arzu mentioned earlier, it's one of the fastest growing fields. So we want to make sure that we're providing a degree that's going to get you where you want to be in the future. Lots of 10s. Awesome. Very good. And then our last question that I probably didn't set up right because I can't see the answers. I just wanted to know, what makes you excited about data science? It's a short answer question. Just go ahead and pop some thoughts in there. That's helpful for us to know because we want to hear, you know, what are you interested in? If we don't have a class that's on that topic, but we know there's interest in it, let's see what we can do to create it. So just always keep us updated on what you are interested in. Arzu and Dr. Pan, do you have any other questions for the students before we go to theirs?
I actually have one thing to mention, that every admitted and like student will receive some communication probably within 3 to 4 weeks, because ASU visits India every spring to meet with our admitted students. It is an event that's going to take place close to your city. It may not take place in the city that exactly you're living in. We do visit about 10 different cities, but India is such a big country that we unfortunately can't visit each and every. So please make sure to RSVP and attend our events. Now we do hold the in the larger cities, we do hold weekend events, so you can travel from the surrounding cities. Why is it important? I mean, this webinar is very important for you. You've got some tremendous information. And then we will have more webinars on registration and all these things as well. But what's great about the events that we hold in your cities is 2 things. First of all, you got to meet us face to face before you come, which is great. but you do get a lot of information about pre-arrival to US information. So we will have representative from our admissions office, from our international student offices, so that you'll get a lot of your visa questions answered. I will be there, and I try to help a lot with registration questions because I used to be in advising. And we will have professors there that you can meet. But what's the most important thing is that you get to meet with your fellow classmates. You can't believe how many students over there, I've seen it with my own eyes. They immediately form a group of like 3-4 students, and they're like, do you want to be roommates? And they're like, yeah, that's great. So you immediately find your roommates. They're from your home country. They're from your, from your home city. So it's very important for you to keep an eye on your email. We will communicate with the email address that you applied. So make sure you monitor that whatever Gmail, Yahoo, whatever that email that you generate to apply to ASU, and make sure you attend to those events.
Awesome. Well, let's get started on some questions. Can we get the time frame of when the decisions for admission for fall 24 will be released? That's a great question. And it's difficult. It depends on your concentration. So we have the 8 concentrations that are managed by different schools. Every school has a different processing time depending on their volume and what they have going on. Right now, last week was the start of our spring semester. And so we basically all just kind of had to stop admission so we could focus on getting our students registered, enrolled, and starting this semester. And we'll be picking back up on admissions this week. So ideally, we would love it if we can get a decision to you in about 2 weeks. Some might take longer, and that's okay. You're still going to get a decision. Don't worry. So just keep an eye on your My ASU page and your email for updates on your application.
Also, I mean, I am happy to share my, like this email right there at the bottom is my personal email, akavak@asu.edu. Please don't email me if you just applied, but if your application have been pending for about more than 4 weeks, please email me, and I'm happy to look into it. It may have been stuck somewhere. We want your application to be processed. We want you to join and attend our program. Just don't email me if it's a week only. Just, as Lynn said, we are a large university. This is the fastest growing program. So give us some slack, cut us some slack, but if it's more than 4 weeks, please email me.
Yes. All right. What is the class size for the data science program?
That's hard to say,
It just
isn't it?
started, so.
So the class size, well, depends on the class, obviously. Some class are very popular. For example, machine learning class, they could easily run to probably 100. And remember that those classes offered by computer science school, and they enroll not just data science students, but also computer science students, computer engineering students, and students from other major. So it's hard to make a prediction. But for example, the DSE 501, one of the core courses that you're supposed to take. Last time I taught that class, there are about 50 students. So I expect the number will increase next time, because last time was the first time we offered this class. So anyway, but some other class could have a much smaller class size, and yeah.
I think they mean the cohort size, Dr. Penn, when they say class size. I think it's
okay.
like what's the cohort? Yeah.
Okay, I see. All right. Lynn, probably you have more precise number of the
We've
cohort.
got this past fall semester was our first big group joining us. And I think we had over 50 students across all of the concentrations, right?
Mhm.
I think so. And that's actually quite a large cohort for a brand new program. When we launch a program, we expect, 10 to 20 students, but 50 right off the bat was quite impressive. And with the interest that we're seeing from you and all of your classmates and your friends, we expect this program to be growing very quickly. What is the difference between CSE 575 statistical machine learning and STP 550 statistical machine learning?
CSE 575 offered by the computer science, which is in the engineering school, and STP 550 offered by the School of Math and Statistical Science. So you from different school basically, and you can see the different. One is from engineering, one is from math and statistics. So the one STP 550, I expect it has more theory behind, I think. And 575 will have more computing component and application.
Exactly. So just like how we have the concentrations that are related, but one is more engineering and one is more math, you'll see similarities within our curriculum. We provide you the options, but you need to pick what best fits your background to ensure that you're successful in the classes.
Also, I suggest all our classes have their syllabus online if you search it. So that's a great way of looking at and because for us to be able to offer different classes, there should be some differences. You cannot offer two identical courses, so there are differences. I would just definitely check the syllabus and see also on my own. You're graduate students now, right? So you have to do some research.
Yes. All right, if I'm willing to be a data scientist, is it good to choose CDA? That's going to depend on your bachelor's degree. I can't tell you if it's good to choose a CDA concentration without knowing more about you. If you've got a computer science, industrial engineering, or computer engineering, yes. If you don't, then maybe not, okay? So take a look at our handbook and our website. We've got it all laid out there because we want you to make the choice that's best for you. And you can only make that choice. I can't make that for you. So take a look and decide. Arzu, would you like to take this next question? What is the placement rate?
Yes, I do. Now, as we mentioned over and over, data science is a new program, so we don't have a graduation rate. So we don't know what our graduates are doing. However, in the engineering school, I'm happy to say that about 80% of our graduates are placed before they graduate. And the remaining are still looking or considering offers. So currently, I'm happy to say that we do have close to 100% placement rate. Now, I can't speak for the data science. I'm just speaking generally for the engineering school. So hopefully within a year, we'll be able to tell you exact statistics on data science.
Yes, you guys have to join and then become part of that data set. I love the amount of data jokes I can make with this degree. It's amazing. Alrighty, how many concentrations need to be chosen? 1. When you apply, you're going to indicate which concentration you want to apply to. Can we change the concentration more fitting to us if you apply to a different concentration? Potentially. Wait and see if that automatically happens for you, though. If you apply to a concentration and we're looking at it and we say this student is a good student, but they're going to be a better fit for this degree, we'll reconsider you to that other degree program and they'll review you and determine if you're admissible or not. So I would say wait, don't submit a new application until you have to, because we do look at that because we want you to be successful in the program. How can one change their major from Bayesian to computing and decision and analytics if they've already applied. So it depends on if you've been admitted or not. We'll most likely automatically make that change for you. Can students with a bachelor's degree in automobiles apply to the master's in data science mechanical? Very good question. Dr. Pan, what do you think?
I think yes. Obviously, you study the mechanical system and probably interested in data analytics in those kind of mechanical systems. I think the background fits to the mechanical concentration. Yes.
Perfect. And this next question is directed to you, Dr. Pan. I'm
Mhm.
quite confused here. I'm from electrical background, but I had IT experience, thinking the CDA program will help her further in their career. Which should they choose, EE or CDA?
Well, if you have IT experience, I would say probably CDA will be better fit. But also depends on your IT experience. It is more, for example, if it's more hardware type, I would say electrical engineering will be the better fit. But if it's more software and system level, I was probably CDA, I would say.
I'm gonna go back a couple of slides here, this one. So a master's degree is 30 credits. You need to take 3 core classes. So, let's go 10 classes, right? Let's do some simple math here. 10 classes, you need to take 3 core classes. So now we're down to 7. And then concentrations, usually it's 2 or 3 classes from a specific list. So now we're down to 7 minus 2 or 3. So now we're down to 3 or 4. What are those other 3 or 4 classes you're going to take? Well, they're going to be electives. So even if you join the electrical program, within that elective area, you can take more CS classes. You can take more IFT classes. We want you to sample from many departments. So keep in mind that there are flexibility. There's flexibility built in to all of our degree programs. It's just going to be the majority of your classes that you take. We want them to match your background whenever possible to ensure that you're going to be successful in them.
Yeah, another thing I want to mention is because CDA is so popular, and sometimes it could be harder to get into CDA. I mean, you can factor that into your decision. If you apply EE, maybe much easier to get enrolled, and you still have the flexibility to take the course that you want to take.
Yep, absolutely. And a lot of students say, well, I want CDA or CMD because it has
Computing.
in the degree
I
name.
know.
That means nothing. Nothing, okay? When you apply for jobs in the future, employers and hiring managers are not going to hire you based off of one singular word. They're going to hire you based off of the knowledge that you have, the classes you've taken, and your experience. So having computing in your degree title does not make you any more or less hireable and desirable to companies than having electrical or mechanical in your degree title. So keep that in mind. Let's scroll up here. I've already applied to a more math-based data science. May I ask if I will still be considered and directed to another concentration if the department believes that my math level is not good enough? Yes, absolutely. We are seeing a ton of applicants for this program that are very good students. They just don't have enough math for these 2 concentrations. And, if you want to ask, well, how much math? I'm going to say a math degree. That's how much math. Or you have an engineering degree and perhaps you did a minor in math or a double major in math. You've taken extra math classes. Just because you don't have the background doesn't mean that you're just going to be flat out denied. We want to consider you for one of our other programs. Are there any deadlines to apply for TARA on campus? Can we apply for those before your port of entry? Not if it's your first semester. If it's your first semester, you need to focus on doing well in your classes. TA and RA opportunities are typically reserved for PhD students and after your first semester. You'll want to focus on applying for student on-campus student employment. Did that one. Applied for Bayesian, but just learned my major should have been in math. Didn't take the GRE. Will I be considered for another concentration? Yes, don't worry. Tuition and fees for 2 years. So now we're getting into some of the, I-20 related questions. Arzu, do you want to take some of those?
Sure. So the best way to estimate your tuition is going to be if you type to Google ASU tuition estimator, it's going to tell you exactly, because it's going to change slightly from your program to your college. So it's going to ask you which program are you a master's students. So it's going to tell you exactly how much the tuition and fees are going to cost. Now, I believe the I-20 amount that you have to show was about $61,000 for the fall 23 semester. So, so that's your first year's tuition as well as your living expenses combined. So that's the amount that you need to show to be able to get your I-20 from ASU. That helps, but I would definitely go to the ASU tuition estimator to get the tuition part of it.
We've got some questions on I-20 processing times.
So they haven't started so we had a problem a couple of years back where I-20s was taking a long time. Not anymore. If you submit your documents, everything, the financial guarantee, it shouldn't take more than a week to process. 5 to 7 business days is when you should get your I-20.
And students are saying, well, what's the deadline to submit my documents for an I-20?
A deadline is as soon as possible. Seriously, you do not want to wait for a deadline. Why? Because there's also other things you need to worry about after getting your I-20, like making your visa appointment, right? So please do not procrastinate. As soon as you get your admit letter, start working on your paperwork. These things take time. Do not wait for a deadline. Don't even worry about a deadline. I can tell you what the latest day, but there is a deadline latest day for us to issue an I-20, but I would never, ever suggest you even look at that deadline. As soon as you get your admit letter, you start submitting your documents.
Absolutely. Let's see. I'm scrolling through questions here to see what common themes we've got going on. Internship questions. How to get one, where to find one, when to apply.
Perfect. So number one, again, we are all about clarity. We're not going to find you an internship. It's on you to find your internship because you know why? When you graduate, no one is going to find you a job. It's on you. So getting an internship is also a practice for getting your job after graduation. So what we do is we offer you the technical expertise. We offer you the services, whether it is setting up your resume, mock interviews, make sure that you practice your interview skills and all this. Because I can tell you, I arrived to this country as a graduate student, an engineering graduate student from another country, right? So we are raised to be very humble. And I see this in my Indian students as well. Like we think that if we do not praise ourselves, if we don't talk about our abilities, someone else is going to appreciate that. Well, that's not the US culture. Here, you need to be your own advocate. So we make sure we give you the presentation skills that you have, public speaking. You know, career services will hold mock interviews. Career services will look at your resume to make sure that it stands out among the hundreds of resumes a recruiter receives. We're going to offer you the career services, so career fairs, so you can go and present your resume to these companies. Starting for an internship, starting for a job starts before you arrive here to Phoenix. As soon as you get your admit letter, it starts. How you do it, you identify a few companies that you would like to work at. You identify the few jobs that you would like to work at. Like, here is the job title that I want to apply. Then you look at that job title, you look at what kind of qualifications that job is looking for, and you start working on those skills. You add that to your skill set, whether it's through the courses you take at ASU, whether it's about the projects that here you volunteer to work on ASU, whether there are some new courses you take before you arrive to ASU. All these things make a complete package. It's not just a degree that you get. Sorry, that's too much of a mom talk for you guys, but that's
It's good. They need to hear it. We are just at about time. I know we have a lot of unanswered questions. There is one question I do want to address before we leave. If you still have questions, please reach out to us, fultonschools@asu.edu. We can answer any questions that you've got regarding your application, internships, everything like that. The last question that I want to address, I'm going to back it on up here in our presentation to this slide. So the question is, why does ASU have a high acceptance rate? Doesn't that make it less selective or competitive? No. ASU is a massive university. In total, across all of our platforms and modes of learning, we have over 180,000 students registered at ASU. That means that we have classes, we have faculty, we have advisors, we have support, we have resources for that many students and more. That's why we have a high acceptance rate, because we have the ability to accept as many students as possible. We do things at a very large scale. So yeah, students think, oh, well, anyone can get into ASU.
no, not really.
Oh, let me tell you, not anyone can get into ASU. The best, the brightest, those who have potential, and those we say you would be a good fit at ASU. When you think of the global population, it's a fraction, right? So we have a lot of resources available to students. We're quite proud of that. And that's why we admit a lot of students, because we all understand the
Can I
more
just say
we
something?
educate, the better the world will be.
I wish we had admitted everybody, and my email wouldn't blow up with why didn't I get in emails? No, we don't admit everybody. I wish we did, but
Yep, exactly. But you're a good student. You're going to work hard. We want you to be here. We want you to learn, because when you graduate, you're going to, you further that learning. You then teach someone something. You're mentoring someone. And that's important to us, because we are about who we include and how you succeed. So keep that in mind. So we are going to wrap it up. I do have this recorded. I will be sending that over to Arzu as well. So if anyone wants a copy of that, she will have it. So once again, if you need to reach us, that's going to be fultonschools@asu.edu. All right. Any last words, Dr. Pan and Arzu?
No, just thank you for attending this session, and I hope I will see some of you, probably most of you, in the fall semester.
Awesome. Thank you all for coming today. We appreciate it. I know it might be nighttime for many of you, so thank you for spending your evening with us, and wherever you are else throughout the day or the world, thanks for spending your day with us. All right, everyone, have a great day.